And elated Johanne Defay gets the first win for Europe here at the Fiji Pro Stock 5 on the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour. And she is going to be making a jump up the ratings with a couple of top seeds falling out of the draw early. Above her on the Jeep leaderboard, Ronnie Blakey here with former Championship Tour competitor Ross Williams and former world champ Martin Potter for the WSL post show. What a result for Johanne Defay, Potts.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, it's she's been on fire this entire event. I mean, when you guys were doing the road to the final, you know, you just watch her approach. I mean, even from the get-go, her rookie year on tour here, she had something, didn't she, Ross? I mean, there was something about this wave and Johanne Defay, and I think they were on a crash course, and it happened today.
What's really amazing about Johanne is, you know, it's really hard once you reach this level to improve, but she has improved immensely over the last couple of years. Seeing how she surfed out here, you know, today and throughout this entire event, it is light years ahead of where she was a couple of years ago. And that's really impressive to, again, get to this level on a CT and somehow find a way to get better and better.
Well, we just saw the only two women on the Championship Tour who have been victorious here at stock number 5, Sally Fitzgibbons, congratulating Johanne Defay. 2 finals, 2 wins. Good strike rate for Johanne.
That's huge. And one at, you know, really tricky, tiny beach break conditions, and one in, you know, arguably the best event on the schedule. So you talk about a well-rounded competitor. Johanne's here to stay.
And Courtney looks a little happier and relieved at the moment. Tyler Wright will feel a little bit more comfortable because Carissa just looks so deadly in the quarters and the semi-finals, Pots. And for obvious reasons, she was almost everyone's pick, probably, bar Johanne's family and friends, to take out that final.
Yeah, you know, it was always going to be hard for Carissa to reproduce the form that she's had through this entire event. I mean, she's been dropping 9s every heat. You know, that's quarter-final heat where she got barreled, perfect 10. And then a couple of 9s again in the semis. I mean, it was going to be hard for her to keep that roll going. You know, we heard from Strider conditions were changing, and you know, just a slow start, which played into Johanne's favour, and she got that first good wave that put the pressure on Carissa.
Talk about a highlight reel for Carissa Moore, though, Ross,
amazing.
At an event where she really hasn't had too many big moments. Massive heat score totals, the best barrel rides of the contest.
Yeah, you know, so for Johanne Defay, what's so impressive is her brand of surfing and those backhand hooks. Really impressive. She's been ripping. Carissa right there with her, and the tube riding and the positioning was probably second to none. She got herself right back on the ledge and really navigated perfectly the lineup, which is hard to do here at Cloudbreak. So going into the final, we were thinking, okay, Carissa's got it, but as you guys mentioned, the conditions changed rapidly, and it really did ice them out. And
obviously we make those picks based on form, Pots, but Johanne had never beaten Carissa in a head-to-head matchup. She'd never beaten her in one of those non-elimination heats either, and they've had plenty of meetings, so she had to turn around a lot of history against Carissa to get this victory.
You know what, Ronnie, it's been the theme of this year, though. You look at the men's as well as the women's. I mean, everything's been turned upside down. All the stats, all the numbers out the window, you know, and I think that's proven it in this event. You know, Johanne Defay obviously going against all odds to win this event, but you know, you talk about how she's gotten better and better, and I think she's surfing as good as she ever has, but still learning. You know, Carissa as well. I mean, she came in here with no confidence at all. She lacked that, and then you saw her build that throughout this entire event. A couple of mistakes in the final that she didn't make throughout the entire event. I think that was the difference.
That was probably the defining moment for Carissa in the final, that fall. Had she completed that ride, she was right back in it with still a bit of time on the clock.
And then to watch Johanne on the wave behind just unleash, you know, I think that kind of burst your bubble a little bit too.
Yeah, well, this was Johanne's backup score, so it took 17 minutes for any kind of substantial score to drop. Right at the 22 mark, that's where Johanne got that first 8.4. You know, and for Carissa, she just could not find that rhythm. She really did get iced out, and what happened is mentally she got a bit frazzled. That's when we saw her push really hard on that second turn, and she fell. Johanne right behind her got that 8.7, and that was kind of the nail in the coffin.
It's almost like, you know, Johanne was surfing on the edge, but it didn't look like it. It looked like she was surfing within her limits. You know, there was that low bottom turn, really smooth off the tops. I mean, no mistakes, really, and I think that's what you got to do to beat the champs.
That's that comfort factor, too, from Johanne. Just looks like just unshakable against the big seeds. And have a look at the numbers, 8.7, 8.4. She did build well to the final and had her best, or one of her better performances in that last heat. And Carissa, she just had that one fall, and it probably cost her a bit of momentum going into the back half of the final.
It's funny because we talk about it time and time again. You can get in your own way mentally. You can try too hard. You can get lost in a lineup, and you just kind of create problems for yourself, because there's no one's going to argue the fact that Carissa has been ripping this entire event. She had what it takes to win, and I agree with you, Potts. Johanne has been ripping, but she had those really strong, not safety, but strong hooks in a pocket to where she had that pace that we've been talking about, that she's been trained at St. Lou, where she knows how to match her speed with the wave.
Well, that's it. I mean, a left-handers are waves that she loves. You know, a lot of the women, a lot of the men really on tour don't get to surf lefts until they come here. Johanne goes home and she trains on those lefts constantly. And St. Lou is a kind of wave where you can just, repeat that turn over and over again until you get it right. And that came into play here. So.
And get over the fear factor of coral heads just staring at you at St. Lou. She's used to that.
Big time. Obviously, a lot of the big stories from stop number 5 came in the earlier rounds with huge upsets. The Jeep ratings leader going out in the second round, just the second round 2 loss of Tyler Wright's career, and it came at a costly time because there were some really strong performances. Let's check out the Jeep leaderboard now. Tyler surrenders first place to Courtney, who made it through to the quarters before being knocked. Carissa Moore, she's still holding on to 3rd position, but have a look how much she's narrowed that gap. And Johanne Defay is in 4th spot now, making a jump a few spots now. 7th she was in prior to this contest, in a great position now to get herself into the mix.
I mean, what a title race we've got on our hands, 37,000 to 36, 34, 28. I mean, you know, we thought it was going to be a 2-horse race at the beginning of the year, didn't we? But that's how quick that has all changed. We've got an amazing title race. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
It's going to be fun. Well, there was plenty of big moments from the event. We're going to check out the best of them right after the break. Stay with us. Watching the WSL post show here at the Fiji Pro with Ronnie, Ross and Potts, and we are breaking down the big moments now from one of the best events we've seen on the Women's Championship Tour for some time. Groundbreaking performances, I think, from the top seed right through to our WSL wildcard. We saw mind-blowing action. Greg Long, 2-time Big Wave Tour champ, saying that he has never seen women surfing like this. Everyone seems super inspired at the moment.
Agreed. I think this is an event where you could legitimately say that the level has been officially raised. Just a couple of names to drop. Obviously, Carissa, Johanne, Bianca, Bethany, Laura, and Courtney, I think, are right at the forefront, responsible for that level. Amazing, not only in the event pots, but the free surfing before the event started.
Yeah, I mean that's probably even more groundbreaking. I mean that Tuber that Tyler Wright had, that one that Laura Anniver had. I mean it's a testament. You know, we always thought about women not being able to handle these kind of conditions, but that's changing. I mean, you know, in the near future, I dare say we may even see an event at Pipeline or a place like Chopu. So, you know, women's surfing is moving moving forward so quick, I think even more so than the men.
One surfer that really did silence her critics in this contest was Laura Anniver. She's had a pretty rough year. She did quarterfinal at Margaret River, but she's just looked so fragile competitively throughout the 2016 season. But this is her third quarterfinal appearance here in Fiji, but for me, her best surfing came at this contest.
Agreed. And, you know, so we all know that Laura charges, and she's not afraid of throwing caution in the wind over shallow reef waves. She's had crazy highlights throughout her career, places like here and P Pass, so we know that she's gutsy. But what was so impressive, you guys, is she was spanking the lip in this event, and she was putting together smart heats. So, you know, she's had a shocker like we've been talking about this year, but I think she's making a great comeback.
Her second quarter-final pots, the first 10-point ride of the season, and just really linking her turns together well, taking all those little wobbly transitions out of her surfing.
I was about to say that. I mean, how many 10-point rides at Cloudbreak have you seen that have got it being done on turns alone? Normally 10s are done with the barrel, and that's all, really. I mean, even in the men's division, I can't remember a 10-point ride locked in just purely on manoeuvres alone. I mean, Laura Anniver was from turn to turn, she looked solid, and I think the bigger, the gnarlier the conditions got, the better, the stronger, and more confident she looked.
Definitely, and perhaps the way that best defined Laura's medal in this contest came against Carissa Moore. Carissa dropped the 10 in the opening exchange, and again, Laura went to those moves on a set wave, Ross, and got a near perfect ride herself.
Yep.
It's really fun. It's engaging watching Laura. It reminds me of watching a slam dunk contest and seeing someone 5'5" dunk, like automatically like, oh my gosh, because of the frame of the person.
Yeah.
Laura, when she walks around, you know, she is a dainty woman, and she goes out there and does some of the heaviest moves in the sketchiest parts of the wave.
She surfs
so
big.
Impressive.
Yeah, she surfs real big. I mean, those low center of gravity, the big bottom turns, and then just straight up into the lip. I mean, total commitment, total disregard for personal safety, you know. And I love that. I love that, and I think we're going to see a lot more of it from the women.
Well, she's moved herself up into the top 10 now. Laura Anniver was in 12th position coming into this contest, and she just looks so solid on her feet. Haven't seen that from her yet this season, and really good to see. She was buzzing. Actually, very disappointed that she didn't get the jump on Carissa in that quarterfinal.
She was psyched this morning, having a cup of coffee. You could tell she was breathing fire. She knew the waves were kind of bigger, and that was in her zone. So for sure, she wanted to get a victory today. And for Darren Hanley, shape up another one of those boards. That board she broke today looked money for her.
Yep.
It sure did. Well, obviously, Ross, you rattled off some of the big performers from the event, mentioning some very worthy names there. But everyone here on the island, the competitors included, have been talking about WSL wildcard Bethany Hamilton and her run through to the semi-finals. Everyone is completely blown away, not just by what Bethany has been able to accomplish in just getting to this point, but just how aggressive her surfing was, her tube riding, and her ability to take those wipeouts on the end section, Ross.
She is a superhuman. Again, we've been talking about it a lot. Zero hype here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what she's doing on the wave, you just watch the way her board cuts through the water. She's been having she had some amazing performances in this event. It really looked like for a while there that she was going to take this thing out. Because she, just like Carissa Potts, she had a really good connection with getting barreled and doing big turns.
Well, it's that combination, you know. The judges have been loving it, obviously, and showing the point of difference. There wasn't a hell of a lot of barrels out there, so, you know, Bethany was finding them, but she wasn't just finding them, she was attacking the wave and literally blowing the tail out the back as well. I mean, just really pedal to the metal surfing, which is absolutely astonishing.
When was the last time there was a mum surfing in a CT event making the semi-finals? I was struggling to work it out.
Yeah.
It's
Maybe
been a
Lisa
while.
Anderson back in the day. It's probably been a while.
Yeah.
But an amazing performance from Bethany Hamilton, really enjoying her time here. That handle on her board, that's something that her dad or her husband, they'll affix that to her equipment. And she really only uses it when she's duck diving. Other than that, it's the paddling with one arm, getting to her feet, using the rail of the board. It's remarkable how she's able to just get that board going when she's paddling with one arm.
I mean, you know, Strider talked about it too. He touched on the fact that she got caught inside by a three-wave set and literally had to duck dive all of them and came out the back, no worries. I mean, it's hard enough to do the way we are. I mean, it's for her to be able to do that and perform at a high level. I mean, it's hats off, Bethany. I mean, amazing, inspirational human.
Well, you could argue pound for pound, she's one of the strongest athletes on tour, man or woman. It's amazing. I've surfed snapper with her, and she paddled right past me against the current. Like what?
Were you holding her leg rope?
I was.
Tie me out, please.
It's amazing, and then kind of funny because technically speaking, in a lot of ways, she surfs because she draws these different lines because she surfs with one arm. A lot of times, I think to her, it's almost to her advantage. She really gets her upper body over the deck of her board, and she kind of has that front kick out of her snaps.
Has the late drops too. I mean, just to position herself. Her timing, reading that wave, and knowing exactly when it's going to break, is probably better than anyone I've ever seen. She has to position herself so absolutely perfect to catch that wave. Her wave knowledge is second to none.
It really is. To get barreled without using that arm that's closest to the wall is remarkable. But like you said, Ross, just her ability to really push on her back foot, she must really rely on her leg
look at
strength
that turn right there.
to motor through some of those turns.
I mean, she must do Pilates 7 days a week. Her core has got to be through the roof strong.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that movie to drop.
Amazing.
Surf Like a Girl.
Yeah.
Everyone should stay tuned for updates on that and follow Bethany on Instagram. This is a weird thing to say, but the most improved surfer for me from this contest is actually a 3-time world champion. Carissa has come here the past couple of years and not really looked like a threat in this event, but her backhand surfing went to another level. It looked like the best backhand attack on the tour for the first time, I think, at the CT level.
Well, so you could dissect it into two kind of segments. Her surfing on rail and on the lip, it was very aggressive. It was easily the best backhand surfing we've seen ever out of Carissa. And again, her positioning, having CJ there as her coach, the tube riding she did today in the quarters and semis was so impressive. So, I'm not going to hesitate to join you on that. I think she's a huge improvement.
It's interesting though, Potts. A couple of times this year we've seen Carissa put together the performances of the event but not go on to win the contest. So just getting to that end goal is something that she's going to have to work on to get herself right in the title mix.
You know what though, Ronnie? I mean, you look at her results so far. She's got semi-finals all the way up until now, and then a second place. So she's well and truly in the title race. I mean, when you come off that world title, you kind of have that little bit of a hangover period where it takes you a while to find your feet again. Carissa Moore is right back in the mix. I mean, and if this is her sort of not getting the best results she wants, I mean, look at that surfing she's doing right now. As you said, just getting better and better through this event, but she's back in the world title race already, and it's only halfway through the year.
Exactly, in third position, and still coming into a couple of events where she feels very comfortable, obviously competing over there on the mainland of America. She'll be a huge threat. Trestles, her performances there in years gone by.
France, Portugal, Honolulu Bay. I mean, she's looking at another world title.
It's really all about her. I mean, she's almost unbeatable at Honolulu Bay, and we know what she can do at lowers. So if she can muster up some solid results at Huntington and in Portugal, that's when she's going to get past Tyler.
Yep. I think in the past at certain venues, maybe on those beach breaks too, when we have predominant left sandbars, we've been saying, there's an opportunity for some of Carissa's rivals now. Looking at the surfing on the backhand at this contest, you would say that opportunity is almost completely gone, because if she surfs like this on the backhand, it doesn't matter if other people are putting together the heats of their lives. She's going to be definitely a favourite in those exchanges.
With 3 world titles and she's getting better. I mean, what does that say? It's danger signs for the rest of the field, really. I mean, she's fine-tuning her game in all the aspects where she feels that she's lacking. She charges in big waves. She's not scared. I mean, she proved that at Pipeline last year, right? Her backhand is getting better. Where do you go from here? I mean, it's basically how many world titles is she going to win? It's not if, it's how many.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Now, you brought up a great point there. She got a couple amazing barrels at backdoor during that exhibition during the Pipe Masters. So it's a testament to her character, you guys, that she's already on top of the world. She's won 3 world titles, has nothing to prove, and she's finding ways to get better.
Yeah.
Let's shift back to Johanne for a second. She's just won here in Fiji. She's going now into the next event, the US Open, which kicks off on July 25th. She took out that contest last year. If she can repeat that performance, Europe is going to be obviously getting right behind her in her quest to claim a world title.
Well, you know what's fun? It's just getting behind the whole Huntington thing, because obviously it's going to be a huge shift on what we're focusing on. It's all about light, fast boards, skimming across the water, looking fast, releasing the fins, a total departure of what we've just been watching the last few days. So we'll see if Johanne and the rest of the crew can kind of switch gears and wrap their head around that kind of effort.
I think they will. You know, to be honest with you, it's come down to that now where you know, you've got to have that adaptability, and Johanne's proved that. She can win in 2-foot waves at Huntington and then 6 to 8-foot cloud break. So to be the best in the world, you've got to be able to rip in everything. I mean, you watch Carissa Moore surfing in little beach break situations. She lights it up. She's got innovation. She's got that big tail whips and slides, and it's just getting to that point now where you've got to have all that in your game plan. Otherwise, you know, forget about it.
Well, after the break, we're going to be focusing on the men's Fiji Pro, but the women do have some time off before the US Open kicks off on July 25th. Stay with us.